Hello, I'm Sian Ryan and I'm the head trainer and owner of Developing Dogs near Ely. And this video we're going to talk about the misconception of dogs being guilty or dogs showing that they're sort of feeling guilty. He knew he's done wrong, look at the look on his face, he's so guilty. You see it, you see all the dog shaming stuff on Facebook, you see videos of guilty dogs on social media, and they really are a fundamental misconception about what that dog is trying to say. There's a really nice study that was done by Alexandra Horowitz a few years ago now, where she went to owners' homes and she said to the owners, we're going to do an experiment with your dogs where we're going to ask them to you're going to ask them to leave a piece of food that we put on the floor for them, and then you're going to leave the room. And whilst the owners were gone, they videoed the dogs, and then before the owners came back in, they told the owners whether or not the dog had eaten the treat that they left for them. But what they didn't tell the owners was that in some cases the researchers were lying to them. So some owners were told your dog ate the treat when the dog didn't, and some owners were told your dog didn't eat the treat when they did. The other half of the group, the owners were told exactly correctly what their dog had done. And what they did was film the dog's reactions and film the dog's sort of body language on the return of the owner. And what their experiment clearly showed was that if the owners believed their dogs had eaten the treat, their dogs showed what the owners described as guilty behaviour. So their dogs showed the sort of, you'll see, I would describe it as appeasement behaviour, the kind of the sort of head down, tail tucked, looking away, sort of shame-faced behaviour, the guilty behaviour that it gets described as. And owners were saying, well, you know, he knows he's done wrong, he shouldn't have eaten the treat. But in some of those cases, those dogs hadn't eaten the treats. The dogs had done exactly what they were asked. So their guilty behaviour had nothing to do with what the dogs had done, but everything to do with the owner's body language. So the owners were coming back in the room, believing that the dogs had eaten the treats, even though some of them hadn't, and their body language was giving off irritation, disappointment, embarrassment, anger, frustration, and the dogs were responding to that with, as I said, appeasing behaviours, which are basically saying, please don't shout at me, please don't have such an intense reaction, I don't know what this is, but I'm small, I'm no threat, please leave me alone. They were showing appeasing behaviour, but they were responding to the owner's body language, not to what the dogs had done. So your dog doesn't have a concept of guilt. They don't know that they've done something wrong. They are responding to your reaction. And believe me, they are masters of observation. They will see the slightest flicker of irritation cross our faces, or, you know, the set of our shoulders if we're cross about something, because that's how they communicate. The vast majority of their interaction is all about body language. So they read us better than we are consciously sort of able to read ourselves. So if your dog is showing these appeasing behaviours, give them a break. Don't tell them off. There's no point in telling them off after they've done something, because they don't make the connection between what they've done and things. But equally, more often than not, they have no idea why your body language is displaying what it's displaying. They are simply trying to diffuse the situation to say that they're not a threat, and, you know, please don't shout at them. So bear that in mind next time you see your dog looking guilty, or you watch those videos on Facebook of guilty dogs. And just tell yourself they're not guilty. They don't know that they've done anything wrong. It's got nothing to do with their behaviour and everything to do with the behaviour of the person who's taking the video. Hope you found that useful, and hope we see you here at Developing Dogs soon.